so much snow. I love it. I love it.
Hey guys, good morning. Not going to talk very long. For those of you who might have seen my previous video that had no audio on it, sorry. As I said, but you wouldn't have heard because there's no audio, I don't know how to video edit, and I'm trying really hard to learn, and that was the whole point of this video, was for me to put a lot more pizzazz into the video for you guys. So, we're going to try it again. With a new voiceover, with a new me, guys, with a new guy who's me. A little bit of details, not going to go into this very far. I'm not going to do much of a voiceover during the drawing. If I do, it might just be to explain to you guys what I'm using. I really just wanted this to be something kind of cool and relaxing and fun. For you guys to watch and to basically test out how to film like a drawing instead of a painting, because the angles are always kind of weird for me. That's as close as ASMR as you're ever going to get from this guy. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Thank you for your patience, and let's get right into it.
Of a voiceover this time. I just wanted to give you a bit of an insight as to where my head was when I drew this and some of the supplies that I used. So the sketchbook I'm using is the Canson Watercolor XL sketchbook. This is my favorite sketchbook. I don't know why. I just love the paper texture. I love the amount of paper I get in the book. I can do pretty much anything with it. Gouache, watercolor, inks, as you will soon see. Tons of stuff. It's just a really pleasant sketchbook with a really good size. As you can see, I actually use it backwards because I'm left-handed, and so the binding can get in the way of my wrist if I don't use it backward. The pencil I'm currently using is a Staedtler, I think it's Austria. I've sharpened it to the point where half the name is gone. Yeah, but it's just basically a blue drafting pencil that I wanted to test out. I got a couple of supplies from Hobby Lobby, and this was one of them. So I don't really have much of a plan with this drawing. I was just really loosening up and trying to find something fun to sketch and doodle to test out a few, new supplies that I got. Soon you'll see that I use later on the Coliro M600, handmade in Germany by Fine-Tech metallic watercolors, which are absolutely gorgeous. Like, these are one of those little sketching supplies, watercolor supplies that I waited a long time. Man, look at all of that mouth fidgeting there. Look at all that mouth fidgeting. Anyway, yeah, I kind of had seen these on the YouTubes and the other artists using for years, and I just kind of never bought them, but kind of admired from afar, and finally invested, and oh my goodness, are they fun. They are so gorgeous. And the camera and the lighting isn't going to do as much justice as I'd like to them. I try at the end to kind of, flex the book a little bit so you can get the effect. But I'm telling you, if you like watercolor, if you just like sketching and want to add a little bit of extra, pizzazz to your work, this is a great supply, and I highly recommend them. I ordered these on Amazon, I believe. You can get these from a lot of different websites. Another couple of supplies I used was a Graph Gear 1000 Pentel pencil, I believe in the size 0.3. I just really wanted a fine-tipped graphite, mechanical pencil to bring with me and sketch with whenever I needed it. So I'm pretty sure I used that in this video as well. And then the only other, what did I use? I used something else I got from Sketchbox. They're these pens that are like drawing pens to draw with. Well, I can't find them. If I do, I'll add them to the description, but they're basically these gray instead of black liner pens, and they're gorgeous. Oh, I found them. They're the Graphic Line Maker from Derwent Graphics. So they came in like one of those packs where you get like a 0.1, a 0.2, a 0.5, etc. And I used those for the lining, as you can see right here, just because I wanted something a little bit more subtle. A lot of these art materials were things that, you know, in colors I hadn't really worked with before, but I always loved drawing and inking, even though I'm not the best at it. And it was just really fun to test them out and use them. As you can see, our little nymph fairy lady is starting to take shape. She's just trying to take a bath. Again, I apologize, it's hard to see here. If I can, I'll try to maybe increase some of the color values in post-editing, but I'm not the best at that, so no promises. Yeah, again, I apologize. I could not edit my face out of this. I couldn't find anything online to show me how to crop the video in a way that wouldn't really kind of make it look dumb. So somehow this is less dumb than me cropping the video and it looking strange. I'm basically just going for a lot of line widths. You know, when you're inking, it's something you kind of want to keep track of. Your line weights, which is the thickness of your line, can have a huge impact on things like perspective and depth. So kind of with everything, as it gets closer, it gets bigger. Your line weight can work the same. If something is closer or overlapping, you can get away with making it thicker. You don't want to go too crazy, but unless you're really going for that look, which there are artists that do that. But, you know, if I have, you know, kind of underneath her left elbow, I should say our left, I made it a little bit thicker because it's kind of casting, not necessarily casting a shadow, but it's overlapping the other arm, and it is kind of more in the foreground than everything else. And that kind of just adds just a tiny bit of depth to your drawing if you keep that in mind. Just making some detail doodles, I'm not really sure. Oh, I'm working on the little ghost! I don't know why I want to draw a little ghost, but I did. And I drew him, and I'm happy. Kind of cut a little bit, didn't need to take up too much more every time. So here's with most of the artwork finished. I'm just, again, using those graphic pen in gray that I had before. Working a lot with just going over my previous line artwork and making sure it's thick where I want it and thin where I want it. Doing some shitty detailed flowers on the bottom. Kind of just made those up. Didn't really... They're kind of based off poppies, I think, but I wasn't really trying. I just wanted to draw a little thing in the foreground. Some lily pads. I love this little guide thing. I lost one and I rebought it. I just really like how quick and easy it is to just draw any circle I want in just in 2 seconds. Yeah, could I really, you know, spend hours and hours practicing drawing a circle? Of course. But technology. Going back over a lot of my lines again, thickening them up in places, you know, just messing around. It's also very important to make sure you're careful and let your line work dry before you start erasing. That's kind of where that cut was just now, where I kind of went into erasing with a kneaded eraser. Yeah, see right here? But I want to make sure that oh, here they are! There's the Fine Tech Colorero M600s. They're whipping out soon. What you saw me do just there is, I learned this from other YouTubers. You want to saturate with water the Fine Techs before you use them, because if you don't, you're not going to get that nice, thick, luscious color. So you want to get those hydrating before you're actually ready to use them, probably like 3 or 4 minutes. What you saw me use there before was I also actually used something else I got from my Sketchbook, which was a thin line by Seboku. It's like a little tiny gray brush pen. Very cute. I like it a lot. Now I'm just going in with an ink wash. I made these ink washes myself with just some India ink and water in, you know, the classic Pentel aqua brush pen that pretty much every artist probably has by now. I think this is in the smaller medium size, but I'm just going in, starting to build my values up. kind of keeping a loose idea of where I want the light source to be. It's kind of just ethereal light source. Just glad to finally have something you guys can see on camera. I found this drawing super relaxing. It was nice to just work on something that wasn't so detailed or whatever. Ooh, don't know what happened there with the light. There we go. This is another thing where you can really build and layer up, you know. I have a couple of different Pentel brush pens with different levels of value as far as the ink to water ratio. This is, I think, my medium or my light. I can't really quite remember. Shadowing out that ghost. You can use the same ink wash for multiple layers. You just let it dry and eventually it'll come out. And again, here's another thing, you know, depth is created by color variation as much as size, and so the closer something is, tea break, the closer something is, the more saturated or darker it can be. And again, yep, just there we go, building in those values, adding them here and there, using the same value pen. Here's my light one. Yeah, I have one that's like almost invisible, but it's nice to kind of help balance out and add some softness to an ink wash. As you can see, I let those fine texts still sit. You know, I'm probably I might add a little bit more water, I don't remember. But yeah, you really want to just give those a really good chance to soak up that water, because they'll become just nice and thick, almost like wash. And the more saturated they are, the more wet you get them previously and get that nice creamy mix, the more beautiful they're going to be. Oh, those are, I think, those are just some colored pencils I also bought at Hobby Lobby, I believe. Just some, they're not oil-based, they're just like, oh, Faber-Castell, I can see it from here. They're just fun colored pencils I like to use to add a little bit of depth and variety to my drawing. Nothing, oh, here they are. Here's the exact pencil. It is the Gold Faber-Castell in color 131. It's just like a nice light pink. I think I use a couple of these. Oh, here we go with fine text. So I wasn't actually superbly happy with the viscosity of the fine text right now. I had not gotten them wet enough. So not to worry, you can build on them. You can add more and more. So that's not like a huge disaster. I just was like, oh crap. So I guess I'm going to have to do that again. Switching brush sizes, just kind of experimenting, testing out. Watercolor brushes are nice because you can use a really fat brush and get really fine detail if you know what you're doing. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm practicing anyway. Yeah, here I go. See, overlaying the stuff I already painted over, trying to get it a bit more thick and opaque. The current gold I'm using is like my favorite. I love that one. They're all beautiful, but that one is my favorite. It's just like this really vibrant platinum gold. I don't know. I just love it. It's just such a snazzy color. Going in with another thick Zig liner. I love this pen. It's a dual tip. It's got a nice fat marker tip that's 1.2 millimeters and a nice fine tip, which is 0.5 millimeters. I just love this pen. I kind of use it almost as my Sharpie. If I need to fill in a big area of black, I will use this pen. It has lasted a long time. I do have several of them. For those of you who might have followed me on Instagram, I did a lot of my 2017 Inktober's with this guy. So I love it. It's in the calligraphy section of your craft store. I think I've only looked for it in Michael's. I don't know if it's in other ones, but I've definitely found it in Michael's, and it's just kind of a calligraphy pen. I don't know. It's just really nice, thick, easy to work with, opaque. It doesn't have a smell. I just really like this pen. Trying to add, oh, that's my camera. This is actually the Google Pixel 3 that I'm using to film this, so that was the other thing I really wanted to experiment with, because I bought this phone mainly for its camera prowess, and thus far I'm very happy with it. For a phone, this is recording very nicely until I can decide to afford to get an actual real camera to do this with. You mainly see me. I'm not switching pens, just sides. That's a really fancy pencil that I had. That was a Faber-Castell Polychromos, which are really nice. Did that to add some blush on her cheeks. I use a lot of vases and flower pots for my drawing supplies because I think they're cute and they are efficient. Oh, just taking a nice white. This is not my favorite white gel pen, by the way. I couldn't find my favorite one, which is like the Jelly Roll. It's the really thin white one. If you watch time lapses, you've seen this pen before. This is the Pentel. It works okay. It just doesn't have the same flow as the other one. Now I'm just kind of switching back and forth between pencils, taking my really light ink wash over the background. Really just tightening things up. This is pretty much the end here. We're just trying to make sure everything meshes and is copacetic, add any last minute details that we want. I am not the best at ink washes. I need a lot of practice. This just isn't really a medium that I work in all that often. You know, I do this really to relax. If I want to like just do something fun and doodle, that's where my ink and stuff comes in. This completed piece is actually on my Instagram, so if you're interested, you can visit me over at the ARTOFM. All of the drawings that you'll see on my YouTube channel are always over on the Instagrams. Thickening up our little ghost because I felt like he needed a bit more of a pop. I love that really graphic look where you outline a form, like you don't take in the inner details, you just go right around the whole edge of the figure and make that really graphic pop. Look at all those paint stains on my carpet. See, that was me trying to check the luminousness of the paint. Yep. It's like she needs an outline. And as you can see, the fine text work really nice with the black ink. I'm not really running into any weird texture issues. I can go right over the edges. It doesn't flake off. It doesn't give me any issues. She's annoyed that this ghost has interrupted her bath. Let me know what you guys think this little story is down in the comments. I like to leave that kind of stuff open for interpretation. Got a little brave here. this was bravery. I wanted to add some lines, but I'm like, am I gonna just ruin this? I don't think I did. They're okay. I recently rearranged my desk setup because I do everything at my desk. I paint here, I draw here, I video edit here, I do everything here. So I got like a new little tabletop easel, which I really like, and was able to finally make myself a much better space to draw with. Yep, there we go. See how pretty that is? See how nice that shines? Not done yet. Not done yet, apparently. Basically, I kept the line work within the form, that gray tone, to, you know, give it a softness, and then went around the outside with the blacks and the more intense colors to give it that bit of a pop. I like to draw in my hands. I always have. It's always driven everyone nuts, but I always have. Giving a bit more... just going over the sun, just trying to give it a... sun or moon, not sure. You guys tell me. I always pictured this at night. Going over any spots I thought might need a bit more thickness. Ooh, going in for some stars. Some details. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, especially for those of you who suffered through the first one that lost all of the audio. I am so sorry for that, and I'm sorry it took me so long to fix it. I really wanted this to be a nice video for you guys. So thank you so much, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your week.
This scarf came off of a dog toy, but it looks so fabulous.
Any tigers are definitely fighting.
Say hi. Say hi.